Supreme Commander Forged Alliance. This is Twin Rivers. Two players we're all very familiar with, Yama and Deja Vu. As a matter of fact, I've played both these players recently, and I've uploaded me playing against them. The results were quite different. I think they were both very, well, I would like to think that they were both close games, and I know I really enjoy both games. Both of these players, on a good day, I think I'm as good as them. On my typical day, I think they have an edge. Although I haven't played Deja Vu too many times, but you can watch those from my point of view, and you can make your judgment. But in this one, we're gonna see them face off on rivers. One of these players sent me this replay and told me you must cast this. I don't know if he sent it to Guile, but Guile hasn't been casting, and I think I gave Guile plenty of time to cast it. And if he casts this, I'm not sure if he will or not. It would be great as well. I do want to get some of his fans into this channel, just because he's got so many, he could probably spare some. Because I don't think I'm in a position to steal in this one. Second air from Deja Vu. That is not second air. That is a lot of land. But Yama, nope, he's got second air as well. But he's got two more land factories coming in with the ACU, which is yeah, a lot of work for the ACU. The ACU is going to move out very late. You can see initial engineers. There are 4 engineers, and Yama. See, this is the most vulnerable position. But of course, when you're facing Seraphim, you do have a little more time because of the absence of a light assault pod. And Yama choosing not to use the light assault pod, so Yama building a couple more engineers than he probably could have. You see a lot more tanks. It's 2 groups: tank Celine, coming out looking for victims. This engineer's got a lot planned. Got a raider here. It's a good looking raider if he can hold on to it. And one thing that I think Guile's got on me is he always uses proper grammar. I'm gonna try to keep my tenses, my cases, and my voice as clear as I can. But I do make those mistakes because I am not a British imperial citizen. This is a great tank from Deja Vu. And another great tank from Deja Vu. Good work with those tanks. You can see these Manti failed. They've let their engineers die, and now they're going to try to chase down this tank. And they go, oh, this tank did its dirty deed. It's just going to run. And this other one's here at the back door looking for any more victims. Look at them, Celine's. Celine picking a fight with the Mantis. That's a mistake. But I see the raiding from Yama are going to come in terms of bombers. A lot more bombers, it seems. Some Minties coming out for Deja Vu. Perhaps it should slow it down. Will it be successful? Yes. An engineer. Ooh. Dodge. Deja Vu. It looks like this is critical. If he can hold on to this engineer, it'll be a very big victory. You can see an interceptor trying to get into position. The dodge, and you can see the micro continues. And I think he did enough there, Deja Vu. As we see, both players successful raids, perhaps a slight edge to Deja Vu. And what Deja Vu is going to do, he's got a lot of reclaim, although both players with engineers nearly identical. Look at these engineers and NGs and radars. So close in their respective spots. And in terms of land, you can see this is going to be 2 versus 1. Yama's going to realize he's going to pull back, regroup, and try to take back the land. And a major land assault coming in here. We got to remember the engineer here was killed. This is no man's land with 1 tank. It's going to be completely overpowered. And check out all those scouts. That looks a lot worse than it actually is. You see that on radar if you're Deja Vu, if you do have radar there. You see all those units coming in. You think you're going to send a lot of your tanks in that direction, which might free up other positions. These 2 tanks probably want to split and hide. And this tank, hiding behind some trees and a mass extractor, kills yet another engineer. Yes, you see the pretty big response. Yeah, one of these other tanks, 1 kill running. Putting out the fires. Deja Vu with an upgrade. Going Tech 2. This is something I have never seen on Rivers before. I can't believe I just saw this. Why is he going Tech 2 on the ACU so early and on this map? First off, I think he's probably totally power stalling. Yes, he is. He's destroying his economy. So first off, it's a very quick tech too. Second of all, he is killing his air production because that's so power hungry. Air is so critical on this map. Although he does have early, maybe a slight edge on air. Yeah, I think if there's an air fight, Yama will win easily. Check out this Celine. We'll see how long this Celine can live. And you can see Yama here. He's already gonna get an engineer. He's gonna try to take the bottom island, and unless there's a drop coming in, it looks like he'll hold on to it. And perhaps a drop. Do we see any transports yet from Yama? Not yet. Yama significantly ahead on mass. Well, I think. Oh wow, Deja Vu just dropped there. Deja Vu finished with his tech to upgrade. He's gonna go for tech to power. And in terms of land and air, there are a lot less units for Deja Vu. A lot less units. And he needs to make a challenge for these both of those sides. It's very dangerous to get back in on those sides. It's a very I shouldn't say dangerous. It's very difficult. You don't want to just give both away. And I'm very nervous here for Deja. Although once he gets that tech to power, that's going to give him a significant advantage. So this is a bit of a gamble. This is when Yama needs to realize that he's in position to win land, and he's got total air control, which means he can drop wherever he wants. He can even put an aggressive drop in if he wanted to. I really like the scout from Deja. That should spot any kind of drops in that island. So he'll be able to respond if he had something. Here comes the transport. So I think a bit of a lost opportunity there from Yama. Unless he's planning a drop now. Maybe he's just content with grabbing this area, which he should. The bomber goes down. And Yama needs to realize he's got air control. He needs to build gestures to start raiding. Yama significantly ahead on mass. But Deja Vu, that tech to power, jumped ahead on power. Now he's got to use that advantage somehow. Because that's a significant amount of power. You could make another 2-3 air factories, maybe go tech to air, get more fancy upgrades, things like that. But you can't just waste it, which is Deja Vu doing it. 500 power wasted. I'm sorry, that hurts. That hurts. Another drop from Deja. Of course, he can now spam transport at will. Of course, one of the reasons he is Yama losing an opportunity. I think the top island is going to belong to Deja, which will make for a more even game. But Yama taking an advantage on land. Hopefully all the audio is in the correct levels. And good aggression on land. So he's denied a little bit, although it's only 2 mass extractors. Once he breaks that point defense, which will take forever for the Cyberns. And let's look at reclaim. 2600 for Yama. Look at that power. That's very good looking power. Deja still wasting 500. Reclaim 3400. And a bit of a counterattack, but still huge numbers. It's an easy victory for Yama if he just moves in, just destroys all of this. But as long as he avoids point defenses. Also interesting mantis from Yama, just leaving it behind. And I think Yama with the transport with a couple of manti, he could have still taken that top. Very slow grab of the top island from Deja. Perhaps Yama is having too much respect for Deja, or maybe he's actually not respecting, which is probably not good. This tech to power though has been for the most part wasted. We also see tech to land a very early TMDs. That's the Antai's Law there. We also see T2PDs all over the place land. It's a big project for a single engineer. As Yama continues to assault, but he has allowed Deja to move in. Deja getting some power storage. He's got Tech 2 engineering. And looks like he's gonna... So you can see overall a lot less Tech 1 land for Deja. He was hoping that Yama wouldn't be too aggressive. I think Yama, if he would have acted early, could have ran through all this, got in the back, and this game would be effectively over. This gap would have been a lot bigger. And what is going on here? An Angie drop. Well, look what he's got planned. That's interesting that he's able to give orders to those engineers. I've never done it. I've seen it done very few times. The engineers and the transport already have their orders given to them. I've seen Dim do it, but I've never taking the time to figure it out. Somebody knows how to do that, let me know. Or I might just do it as well. And here come a whole bunch of Ilshivas. See, no time wasted. Also stole a rock from Yama. And a drop, finally a drop. That's a very late one. And now the Ilshiva force is getting built up. So Yama, he had an advantage which went away, and Yama left a whole bunch of reclaim for Deja here. Didn't do too much damage. And that's when chances slip away. And Deja, I think, is back in this game, although this drop here could still, yeah, this drop might actually take the top island. And the response, yeah, this, no element of surprise. Yama's got a Jester and he's got Mantai. He will take care of that problem. But Deja Vu overall, he is planning on a very defensive mindset. He's building T2PDs. He's gone straight to Tech 2 land. He's able to build that up. He's probably going to turtle. If he's going to do that, he's probably going to start taking. But that's very dangerous. You have to really be able to judge how much firepower your enemy is bringing. And now this is fairly large force. Plus there are some hoplites there. Hoplites are kind of weak. And yeah, Deja pulling up a whole bunch of T1 PDs. And suddenly Yama doesn't have as much mass production. She must have power problems. Oh, he's back. As we see Ilshiva Assault leading with the flak, wasting the flak. And more drops coming in. You can see Yama finally saw that the top island so weak is going to take it. Deja. After my game against Deja Vu, I have the utmost respect for his ACU. It's one of the greatest ACUs, I think, in the game today. He seems to like Seraphim. And his game against me, he was Seraphim as well. Here you can see the Ilshiva, the power of the Ilshiva. The Tech 2 stage, the Ilshiva dominates pretty much anybody except the Obsidian. Obsidian is a very good counter to the Ilshiva. Maybe not a counter, but it can outcompete it. And more Ilshiva, so too many Mantai. These Mantai should have been used too early. They were used too late by Yama. They're basically past their expiration date. They could have been so deadly, but now they're just going to be cannon fodder for the most part. Still somewhat effective. Actually here they're being quite effective, but pretty much outgunned here. They're kind of like cannon fodder with the hoplites behind. This is a massacre, I think. This is not just one or two Ilshivas. This is a full-on Tech 2 force, which is massacring the poor Mantai. This is like professional units versus conscript. It's an unethical way to do war from Yama. And here's an Ilshiva drop. Let's see what can it do. The point defense is up. Yeah, Ilshivas are afraid of point defenses. And finally, some professional units, some Tech 2 Rhinos. Gonna try to help out. Rhino Medusa combination from Yama. That's very good. And what you can see is both islands now are red. Better red than dead. And what is this? Drops coming in. Are those? Yeah, it looks like Mantai and Medusas. It's a massive scout. Probably didn't need to use all else, but he did. Strong defensive position and a lot of teching for Deja. Deja catching up on the mass front. Although he's still slightly behind on power. Yama significantly ahead. And what Tech 2 does Yama have? He's got a Tech 2 AC. What's up with people upgrading ACUs to Tech 2? And is this... He's going Tech 3 land. So Yama, tired of all these Ilshivas, he's going Tech 3. And these Ilshivas kind of... maybe... I think if they just don't go through the middle, but pick one of these forces, they could have ran them over. Especially this one. Although they have a very nice looking base to retreat to. There's a T2 PD, and T1 is dead. I think if they go to this force, they can run it completely over. They wouldn't have issues. One thing that would... Oh, Tech 2 flak. Interceptors over Tech 2 flak. Not a good time. Check out these bombers. Are they going to take out the... If they take that out, that might save the PD. The PD lives, which is critical. Yeah. Good defense from Yama. If Deja Vu mixed in a bunch of Arty together with his Elshivas, this force will be extremely deadly. It would run everything over. Right now, these Elshivas are a bit afraid of all those tech 1 point defenses. They could kill them, but they would take many more losses than if they had a whole bunch of arty. Plus, the arty has longer range, so you can begin to kite. And okay, this is critical. This is something I should have noticed. Cruisers. I love cruisers on this map. For UEF and Seraphim, they're extremely deadly. Navy is expensive, so you only want to do it when you can afford it. But when you do it, it can win the game for you. Here's another Tech 2. And I think this time at the Tech 2 stage, Deja Vu has taken a little too long to assault with these. So he's going to continue to probe, but I don't think he's in a position anymore to make any kind of progress. You see a lot more PDs have been built up, a lot more T2. Now there's also one of the most beautiful units in the game, the Cybern T3 Mobile Arty. See how many kills that gets? It's the first one that's out. See a lot of build capacity on that. Is that a brick? Yeah. And once bricks make it onto the field, the Ilshivas are no longer a professional force. No longer the elite, the kings of the battlefield. This is now the best unit on the battlefield, and will be until we see some badass ACUs or experimentals. Deja Vu. Let's see if he goes research allocation on this one, or if he goes Tech 3. T1 bombers coming in, and now we're seeing Yama beginning to push up a little bit. However, look at the teching from Deja Vu. He's teching hard, and here come the first cruiser. We'll see the response from Yama. I think this island is done. He's going to be reclaimed by Deja. And we'll see how much damage can be done to this base. With enough TMD you can counter, especially Cybern TMD is quite good. On land though, it could be a problem for Deja Vu because Tech 3 force backed up by a bunch of trebuchets is a problem for anyone. And you can see a bit of recycling going, so we have to anticipate Tech 3 land. We do see Tech 2 air, so it could be something more interesting. Tech 2 transports. What is he going to drop? And now the Ilshivas are going to try to fight. Look at those rhinos up front, but T2 PDs. Yama is going to have to be a little more patient. Scouts. Is there a stealth there? Let's see. Yama. It's because those scouts. The scouts, they allow a point of view for quite a while. It doesn't look like there's any stealth though for Yama. If there was stealth there, that group would be so much more powerful, and also stealth with this. So the trebuchet is in position to begin assaulting. It's kind of stuck on the side here, and that will counter the T2 PDs. 11 kills on one of them. A brick attempting to break through some T2 PDs. I think it will. And T2 transports being readied. I'm seeing Tech 3 mask structures. Deja Vu with a lot of build capacity in this area next to his ACU. Taking his heart out there. And here come the cruisers. The cruiser spam is on. 2 cruisers. The more cruisers, the more TMD you need. And once you lose your TMD, you begin losing your important units. And T2, okay, so it looks like Yama was able to get some T2 up on that island. A lost opportunity, I think, for Deja Vu. Take a lot longer to kill that island. T2 is going to move in, and actually now that will force... Oh, friendly fire. Ouch. Brick with 8 kills. Let me actually pause it at this point. Apologies for that short interruption. But Corsairs on the field, so this problem with the cruisers is significant enough. And Corsairs will target, but you can see, oh, both Corsairs, good work there. You do not want to not kill all the cruisers with one pass, because as your bombers circle around, they're going to get absolutely demolished. A bit of a lost opportunity from Deja. If he would have scattered those, he could have had his interceptors above his cruisers. It would have been a complete massacre. As we see a drop from Deja. Deja with the Ilshivas. Ilshiva drops, some of the favorite things to do for Seraphim players. That's when a Seraphim player dreams that they're a UEF. Of course, the UEF Percy drop is the most feared drop you can do. But the Ilsheva drop you can do much earlier, and it's also quite devastating. However, the Ilsheva... Oh, Corsairs. Corsairs are excellent unit. Very versatile. Fix your problems for you. Another assault. 4 bricks. Ilshevas versus bricks. And a couple Thams. Othams, sorry. This is not a Tham, it's an Otham. An Otham is a very good tank. At some point it was very weak. I would say it was the weakest. I like the Otham now. We'll see how well it does against the bricks. It doesn't have the range of the bricks, so the bricks can kite proper micro from the Yama. See those Ilshevas, I mean, just a massacre. I'd love to see Yama park a couple of these trebuchets right here and assault this position. I think that's what he's going to do. And where is the stealth? Is Yama using stealth? I think he might be, actually. Yeah, Cybern with stealth. It's very cheap. Extremely effective. Another cruiser out for Deja. Look at all that interceptors. They're very good to micro them like that against planes. You don't want to micro them like that against flak. And you're gonna see a bit of a massacre here, perhaps. Oh, look at this. Othams in range. Very high fire rate. In close range, they have 2 weapons. One is longer range, the other one shorter range. The longer range one has a much lower fire rate, but has most of the damage. But when they get really close, you get another fast fire rate weapon, which is very effective against Tech 1 units. Please let me know if I got that wrong. I'm pretty sure that's how it is. Because there have been a whole bunch of upgrades, but look at all these bricks. This is big numbers. Okay, so this is not good for... And look at those trebuchets. Backing up their team. I think these bricks, yeah, you can see there's micro. Oh, look at, yeah, trebuchets make ruin your day. This is a big problem for Deja Vu. He has lost the land battle with many bricks remaining. There's a huge amount of reclaim you can see already. Engineers moving in from Yama. I wouldn't be surprised if he drops engineers here, because that's big reclaim opportunities. As the bricks are going to move in, are we going to see the AC? I think Deja's ACU here getting an upgrade. I'm not sure where it is. He needs to move in and needs to do overcharges. He needs to take risks, because these bricks are not going to stop. They're not going to stop. They're also going to give cover for these trebuchets, which will begin firing directly upon Deja's base, which will not lead to anything good. As Yama, look at this mass though. A lot of power for Yama. Yama has so much power, he can be making tech through air if he wants. He's working on a megalith. Look at all that power though. Shields are turned off, which sucks. Could really use those right now if you're Deja Vu, but the reason he turned them off is because he was getting some upgrade. Man, this is a calm individual right here. His base is getting massacred, so he's just making a T3P gen. Not the unit I would have guessed. Not the unit I would have made. But look at all these juicy targets for your bricks. Tech 3 mass extractors. Completely undefended. Oh, and a Tech 3. Okay, so the person with Tech 3 air turned out to be Deja Vu. But will he be able to hold it? Ooh. Very good looking anti-air battery here. That 4, 6. Yeah, you don't want to fly here. Good work. I think he saved his Tech 3 bomber. That Tech 3 bomber would not have lived if it wasn't for these. Look at how many kills they got. 23 kills on that. And the bricks are still alive. They're going to do damage. You can see multiple mass extractors are down. Yama has cut up on mass production. Oh, wow. Give that RD a medal. What a shot. But Tech 3 air from both players. Exactly the same power. Very similar mass. And in terms of reclaim, I think you can see all these engineers. This was a big move. If Yama did not send these engineers while he was assaulting, reclaiming that, I think he could be in a bit of trouble. But the fact that he got a whole bunch of reclaim, let's see what his advantage is. 45,000, 10,000 in the bank. Deja on 26,000. But Deja could make some of that up because he's got all these dead units. And now gunships from Deja. And how about that megalith? Not too much build power on it. And where's the air factory? This is the Tech 3 air factory. I'm going to slow this down even more. Very exciting game. Big thanks for sending this to me. One note I'd like to add. Yeah, good work. Deny those engineers. Such valuable engineers. But you probably want to protect them. If you, on this map, if you ever get cruisers and Tech 2 Navy in one of these rivers, there's no reason not to put it in the other, because you just get the Enjimut support Tech 2 naval factory and make them on both sides. You gotta force as much TMD from the enemy as possible, because TMD will not hurt you, just like Tech 2 flak won't hurt you unless you fly over it. So you gotta force your enemy to make as many useless units as possible. And these cruisers, they're not just these bombardment units. Extremely good anti-air. They got TMDs of their own. And of course, they also provide radar, and they also repair and refuel your planes. As we see another assault moving in from Yama. Probably a single gunship's not going to do anything unless... Did Yama not bring flak? I'm sure he did. He's Yama. The Tech 1. Ooh, that brick is lost. Brick drops are also a good thing. I'd love to see some brick drops. Oh, and this is a unit that is not often seen, but it is seen on this map. Tech 2 artillery. Tech 2 station artillery. Very expensive, very low fire rate, very good range, very bad accuracy if you're Cybern, but it looks very good. Once you get enough of them, especially with EEF or Aeon, you get a whole bunch of them. I guess with any, I don't like the Cyber one. Such bad accuracy. And this is an advantage to the Otham. You got the Tech 3 shields here, 21,000 health. Yeah, not the fight that you want. Did Yama not realize this? I don't think he was realizing how many shields there were. But look at this. Yeah, I don't know if that RD's ever hit. That was a significant loss now for Yama. Will leave a lot of potential reclaim, although some shells did fall in this position. But this is where Deja's ACU is, and I really want to see what kind of upgrades he's got. He does have the... Oh, look what he's getting. He's getting the overcharge upgrade. So, in case people don't know, one thing you can do with the new quantum gateways is put the upgrade on the quantum gateway, so that every single SCU that you make will have that upgrade included in the build. It's much more convenient than first making the SCU and then giving it the upgrade. It's one of the recent advancements. I think it's great. And are we gonna see the brick torpedoes actually be effective? These are, I don't think they're the weakest torpedoes in the game, but they're pretty much useless usually. But if you give them enough time, they might actually kill a cruiser. Yeah, that's one part of the game that's so rare, I actually don't really know. This could also be depth charges. The difference between depth charges and torpedoes is their interaction with torpedo defense. If theirs are actually torpedoes, perhaps you can use them to overwhelm torpedo defense. But if they're just depth charges, then they can't be countered, but at the same time they don't overwhelm. And you can see the TMD going to work. However, I think if that TMD is targeted, Tech 3 bombers are a beautiful thing, I think, my personal opinion. As we're now going to see a Tech 3 assault force from Deja. How's that megalith? This has been building forever. We also see quantum gateway from Yama here, minute 35. In terms of power, dead even. Slight advantage in mass to Deja. Actually, it's significant, not major. And you can see so much more TMD. Each one of those, I believe, is 240, something like that mass. If you build enough of them, it is going to weigh down on your production. Tech 3 battles back and forth. And this is where I really liked Aeon, although Aeon, in these kind of battles, you would have already needed GC, I think. You would have been ran over if you... Those are torpedo bombers. Yeah, I think that island's done. I'd love to see Navy down here. But if you're Aeon, you need the GC at this late Tech 3 stage, because the Harbies will... They just can't compete with the Otham, the Shield, and the Brick. But their Tech 3 Arty is very nice, because you can see as these Arties are moving, they're not shooting. For Aeon, they do, and they're very accurate. And we're seeing an air fight, perhaps in a position where you don't want to have an air fight if you're Yama, over the cruisers. It's another big advantage of the cruiser. This is very much a no-fly zone for Yama, at least With Tech 3 Air, you can fly there for a little bit if you're brave, but you don't want to fly there a lot. As in 37 minutes, with these types of ecos, we have to consider nukes, we have to consider experimentals, and we have to consider massive air spam. And strategically, what we're seeing, that Navy is a big pain in the ass for Yama, because those TMDs, as we saw on the island, same thing can happen on the mainland for Yama, and if that happens, these cruisers can reach really far, and that's going to be a significant map control advantage. And map control advantage at this stage, it equates to the total number of mass extractors that you have, which translates to how much mass you're producing. So you do not want such bad things to happen to you. Another interesting thing, we have all these. Oh, this is a Tech 3 radar under a shield. This would be a great target. As we might see yet another Tech 3 land fight. Let's check out the stealth this time. 14 bricks. And why am I getting lag? I apologize for lag. Maybe I wanted too much from life. Turn that down. This video card is a 660 Ti. Thought it would be good enough, but maybe it's not even the video card. Running the processor at 4.2 gigahertz. As we're gonna see, are we gonna see some overcharges? Come on, Yama. Oh, an overcharge versus bricks. This is just heartbreaking if you're Yama. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. This is very. Kyle's got to be very jealous. He's not. He was dreaming about seeing this once. Remember, it was a game between me and Vortex and I, where he made these against me, but before he could use them, I bombed him with some strats. In case people didn't see that cast, it's on Guile's channel. But this time, no strat bombers to save the day, and these SCUs. This is the T3.5 unit. That's a T4 unit. These are very expensive. Just a stock SCU is a few thousand mass, but with all those upgrades, it's much more expensive. And it's the power to mass ratio, which is so large. See if they can take on the megalith. These overcharges at 12,000 damage per shot. How many more? How many shots does it take to make my heart stop? Oh my goodness. Beautiful. Wow. My body starts to shake. Oh yes. The path of destruction. And look at that hero engineer. Gotta stop. And the SCU, this has a huge build capacity on it. Has the build capacity of 18 Tech 1 engineers. It'll suck up that megalith so fast. It sucks like, you know, you can have many analogies how well it sucks. I think it will suck up that entire megalith. It's gonna leave a little bit as a reminder of what could have been. As the Autumns continued forward, beautiful play from Deja Vu. Oh, and there's not much that can be done here. These are going to get real deep. Corsairs. This can take a lot of Corsair shots to kill each one of those. Already shooting backwards. I'm curious to see the reclaim for Deja Vu here, minute 41. 81,000. He's got 16,000 in the bank, 22,000 power. Yama, he is at a disadvantage in mass, disadvantage in power. He's got significantly less reclaim. Really up against the wall. This, yeah, that's a major problem for Yama. As we see more SCUs, I gotta check how expensive this is. Oh, multiple corner gate factories. So to get, for each one of these, it's 10,000. The overcharge itself is 10,000 mass and 500,000 power. Very power hungry. But the SCU is only 2,000. So each one of those SCUs that we saw invested about 12,000 mass and about 500,000 power. And did I mention in this context, why planetary annihilation sucks is that you cannot balance units based on the power to mass ratio. And the excuse is that people are too stupid to understand ratios. So if you're stupid, you can make a choice. So in this game, we don't have that problem. So Deja, and I hope that, Tech 3, yeah. That's one way you can solve the problem, Tech 3 gunships, but a major loss for Yama. That said, I would not like to offend any makers of either planetary annihilation or this game, because there is a huge overlap. I mean, when I hear the word Maver or Scathis, I have huge amounts of respect. And it looks like a drop here for, and if you guys are, yeah, I guess you're in Seattle area, if you ever want to grab a beer, talk about games and other stuff, I'm sure you're busy with family and stuff. I am in the exact same area. I work about 10 minutes away from you guys. So good luck in planetary annihilation. As we see in Asswasher. Asswasher. Oh my goodness. He's Yama. I think this is over for Yama. How do you survive this? Devastation. 58 kills. Is that Asswasher going to live? Oh my god. Is that wreck? That wreck is alive. Oh, that wreck is close enough. If you're Yama and you put engineers in a factory attack move in this corner, you could get that. It still exists. And that's about 50,000 mass, a little less. I wonder if he'll do it. But, yeah, that was a bit of a disappointing ass washer there. But, I mean, it sent the message. It's like, you know, you're pretty much done. Rage quit at your earliest convenience. An anti-nuke from Deja. Yeah, Deja's base is... Yeah, it's sunny days. Very much peaceful. Peacetime. Peacetime in the Seraphim. Those straight to Tech 3. No judge, no jury. Straight to Tech 3. It's a big chicken spam. Well, I think Yama, for whatever reason, thinks this is a good unit. He made that against me, in case people didn't watch our game on 4-leaf clover. It's uploaded from my point of view. He made these as well, and I thought that was a mistake. It confused the hell out of me. I thought he had Tech 3 land, but I was very happy when I saw it was that instead of Tech 3 land. Another megalith for Yama. Anti-nuke for Yama. Yama rebuilding. And a bit of a lull in action. I think Deja expected to win this game. Maybe he didn't have a plan for how he's going to finish it afterwards. Meanwhile, Yama is in no position to do any kind of attacking. And I still don't get why Deja hasn't built a navy here. Maybe he'll do it now. Perhaps he has other plans for his mass. Deja building more Tech 3 power. And how do you win the game if you're Deja with such a huge economy? I mean, if you just make a whole bunch of chickens and just roll them in, you should be in good position. You could just spam air. That's probably the easiest. It could be risky. Air is fragile. Some scouts from Deja. He's going to see a megalith. Get Tech 3 onto air. Look at all those strats. Couple strats for Yama. But it's probably the quickest way to win the game if you just make a whole bunch of T3 strat bombers and just snipe the ACU or snipe something important like the anti-nuke and nuke them. I think another easy way, given that all these cruisers are in position, a couple strat bombs on these, just like you did on an island, I think would wipe that whole position out. And after wiping that out, you can have air cover and move in land troops through the top. As we're going to see a land assault, which is going to be under heavy bombardment from Tech 3 air, although those Tech 3 bombers will only get one pass. Megalith moving in closer. The chicken is finished. Chicken will counter that. And look at all of them. Yeah, don't want to fly there if you're if you're Yama. And how close will the Megalith get? Probably want to run. Turn tail and run. Even the Megalith does it. Yeah, the cruiser number just continues to get larger and larger. And I think it's pretty much inevitable that will be lost. Okay, the Megalith is now going to do the creep. Bricks will move in as we see more. The executioners overcharges. Oh, that's a miss. Those bricks have no chance. 1.5 million power invested in these. 4 more overcharges. Wow. Strat bombers. Oh, one of them died. Also a whole bunch of shells. And if Yama ever flies here, he's gonna lose all of his air. It's just brutal right there. Especially if he does a turn right there. More strats. Don't want to turn right there. And these Autumns. And the beautiful thing about SCE is, yeah, they're gonna come in. They'll take that mass. Gladly take the mass. Yama, 80,000 reclaim. Deja vu, 100,000. 20,000 difference, and that whole difference is in the bank. Strats for Yama with stealth. Flying in. Yama beginning to close the gap in ecos. He's got yet another mega. It does appear that he has air control as long as he controls it. Quite a bit of eco from Deja is going into those cruisers, which eventually will get the victory, but they're not going to have it now. There are, yeah, a whole bunch of gunships. Another SCU is destroyed. And now these SCUs might be venturing a little too far. They really want to get that reclaim. But I think that one's going to die. I like to compliment Yama on his great control. Most people would have been flying around. They would have already flown over that. And he would not have air control right now, which is actually quite critical. It's allowing his gunships to clean up. It will claim quite a bit of reclaim for him if he sends in a couple engineers into that position. Of course, these gunships want to stay away. Also, Tech 2 flag is going to move in. Yep, no, the gunships got too close. That's unfortunate. I believe each one of those is a little 1,200 mass. Bombers 2,000, the gunship's 1,200. 1,260, ASF is cheap, 350. 200 for a spy plane. More megaliths coming in. Yeah, these are getting a little too close. I can't believe, I thought this game was going to be over about 10 minutes ago, but Yama refusing to die. Yama's one of those players who excels in long-term games. Typically, if I play against him and the game is like 50 minutes, I lose because he just does the right things. And then there was, if Guile wants an epic, I don't know if I sent this to him. Yama and I had a hour something game, Cyber on Cyber, on Via. I'm not gonna give away who won it, but it was over an hour long. Some crazy brick action in that one. As we're seeing, the Autumn's just getting pummeled. And Strat Bombers, that's... How much damage does a Strat Bomber do? So all factions can kill a Tech to Mass Extractor. See any examples of Tech to Mass Extractors? That's Tech to Mass Extractor, 3,000. Cyberns are slightly less than 3,000 for the Strat Bombers. All the others are slightly more. The highest accuracy Strat Bombers belong to Aeon. They typically have the best accuracy. They have the worst splash. So the easiest Strat Bombers to dodge with an ACU are the Aeon, even though they have the highest accuracy. It's futile to try to dodge Cyber Bombers. And of course, this is what we've been waiting for a long time. Finally, Deja decided, okay, it's time to end the nonsense. A couple Strat bombers went in, targeted the TMD, and that's not good for. Perhaps a couple T2 RDs here would have countered that quite nicely. I think that could have really made the. Yeah, if these units were a little closer, and given that they're so packed, you don't really need to hit them with all that splash. You could have wiped out those cruisers easily. Ooh. Gunships, you gotta be careful, Yama. You gotta be careful with your ASF. No, don't turn there. Major air fight, and I think Yama is gonna win it. Very close though. Chicken versus 2 megaliths, which are creeping. I love the creeping megaliths, and the chicken died so quick. Disaster there. That was inevitable, but it will finally happen. Strat bombers for Yama. What is he doing with him? He's afraid of no. Anything that flies past this point dies. What do we have? Oh, wow, Deja. That's an expensive unit. See how expensive it is. I predict about 70,000 mass. 70,800. Yeah, we'll see what it does. It's a pretty decent one. If you want to build a Tech 3 RD and you have different factions, Aeon once again is the most accurate. For this is a very low reload, so you really want to hit the right target. But look at all these megaliths. Oh man, Yama is refusing to go down, sticking with the megaliths. If you're a late game Cybern, the answer is megalith. And I think Deja, he was trying to go with maybe a little too much style there. Also late game, of course, the bug is very good, but I think the bug would die. Unless these megaliths are going to take out this front anti-air, which was so beautiful. Well, some of these bricks still haven't been reclaimed. Okay. The thing about the megalith, it's got good range. This chicken's going to try to get as close as possible, so the firestorm at the end will hit as many of the megaliths as it can. These megaliths need to retreat. Need to stay away from that. And also big opportunities for reclaim if you want it. As we see, yeah, it's the final seconds of that base. Another chicken comes out. I think one of the critical things in this game is going to be who gets this reclaim. As you see way up in the sky. Tech 3 already. How effective is that going to be? Yeah, it's doing damage. I think Yama can defend against a single one. You probably don't want to hit something that's under shield. You could hit that. That would really suck. As we're seeing a battle, Megalith's creeping away from a firestorm. They probably hit, oh, a little friendly fire there. And another overcharge. Gunships from Yama. This game has really been the demonstration of SCU overcharges versus Megaliths. I'll let you guys be the judge. These units are small, they're not cheap. Compare what we're decided is 12,000 mass, 500,000 power. A megalith is a bit more mass. I think it's cheaper in power though. So see that Tech 3 art, it's, I don't think it's worth 70,000. Oh, 500,000. 500,000 power, 37. 1,000 mass. What happened to that? Yeah, I don't want to fly through here. That's also a no-fly zone. As we see SCUs from Cybern, did Yama ever decide what he wants to put in his SCUs? I don't think he got any upgrades from him. It's just a stock SCU. Ooh, and I think that really sucks. It probably wanted to invest in a few more shields. But yeah, once this unit breaks your shields, you're not in a very good situation. As we see the nuke being built by Deja Vu. The anti-nuke with 2 missiles loaded is, it looks like the shields went back on. But a couple more shields, and there's really nothing to worry about against that Tech 3 RD. Unless, of course, then you get hit by something less, like some bombers. Look at this island. Wow. Good work from this engineer. He's got a very expensive overcharge too. He didn't really use it. Gunships venturing forth. Yeah, that's the target of the Tech 3 already. Yama here, I think, has the sense that he's screwed. So what does he do? I think under these circumstances, you could attempt. Nope, that's the anti-nuke. Sorry, that's the anti-teleport. You don't want to teleport. You could make a whole bunch of oh, this is what we're gonna see. No, we're not even gonna get to see it. Yama allowing this game to go into the epic stage. Throws in the towel, but realistically, it was over anyway. So hopefully, people enjoyed this cast, and say hi to Kyle for me.